First contact deception. High Evaluator Ixra adjusted her crystalline sensory arrays as she descended from the shuttle onto Earth's primary spaceport in Geneva. The gleaming towers of humanity's united government stretched toward the sky, their architecture a peculiar blend of efficiency and artistry that characterized much of human design. Two Earth officials waited to greet her. Director Sarah Chen of the Terran Space Authority and Admiral James Martinez of Earth's Defensive Fleet. The Galactic Federation had sent Ixra to assess Earth's military capabilities following their application for Federation membership. After achieving faster-than-light travel just 30 years ago, humans had expanded rapidly, establishing colonies across 12 star systems. Such swift expansion had raised concerns among the Federation's elder races. "Welcome to Earth, High Evaluator," Director Chen said, bowing slightly. "We're honored to host such a distinguished representative of the Federation." Ixra's crystalline form shimmered in acknowledgement. "The honor is mine, Director. The Federation is quite interested in understanding your species development." She turned her sensors toward Admiral Martinez, "particularly your military capabilities." The Admiral smiled warmly. "Of course. We've prepared a comprehensive tour of our defensive installations, though I must warn you, we're still quite primitive compared to Federation standards." As they walked through the spaceport, Ixra noted the seemingly basic level of technology on display. The ships in the harbor were small, utilitarian vessels with visible propulsion systems and weapon mounts. Nothing like the massive dreadnoughts of the Federation's peacekeeping fleet. "Tell me, Admiral," Ixra began, "how many combat-capable vessels does Earth maintain?" "Just under 300 across all our systems," Martins replied. "Mostly patrol craft and system defense boats. We focus primarily on protecting our commerce from pirates and handling the occasional asteroid threat." Ixra's crystals pulsed with satisfaction. Such a small fleet was exactly what she expected from a young spacefaring race. As they toured Earth's primary defense facility, everything she saw reinforced her initial assessment. Basic energy weapons, simple shield technology, and conventional propulsion systems. That evening, in her assigned quarters, Ixra began composing her preliminary report to the Federation Council. Species: human, Terra. Military assessment: Category 3, developing. Threat level: minimal. Notes: technology level consistent with development timeline. Limited military capabilities focused on system defense and trade protection. Recommend approval for Federation membership with standard technological assistance package. Deep beneath the Geneva facility, in a chamber shielded from all known forms of detection, Admiral Martins and Director Chen stood before a vast holographic display showing the real-time status of Earth's true defense grid. "How much did she notice?" Chen asked, watching the crystalline dots representing thousands of automated defense platforms shifting through their patrol patterns in interdimensional space. Martinez smiled. "Nothing she wasn't meant to see. The Federation still thinks we're using primitive fusion drives and particle beams." He gestured to a classified readout showing the status of Earth's quantum fold generators and dark energy weapon arrays. "They have no idea we reversed engineered most of their advanced technology from that crashed Federation scout ship back in 2157. And the Arcturus defense line. As far as the Federation knows, it's just a string of mining outposts." Martinez brought up another display showing the massive ring of hyperspace interdiction fields and temporal disruption cannons protecting Earth's core systems. "They still think we're limited to conventional space. They haven't even noticed that we've mapped their entire strategic communications network." Chen nodded slowly. "Good. The longer they underestimate us, the better. We learned long ago that being underestimated is the greatest tactical advantage." She paused, studying the readouts. "Have the deep space sensors detected any more signs of the entity?" Martinez's expression darkened. "Yes. It's still moving through the galaxy, consuming everything in its path. At its current pace, it will reach Federation space in less than a decade. And they have no idea it's coming." Chen said quietly. Their arrogance blinds them to threats they don't understand. She straightened her shoulders. Continue with the deception, Admiral. Let them think we're just another primitive species seeking their protection. When the entity arrives, they'll need our help whether they know it or not. And if they discover the truth before then, they won't, Chen replied. Humanity has gotten very good at hiding its true nature. We learned that lesson through countless wars among ourselves. The best weapon is the one your enemy doesn't know exists until it's too late. As Ixra finished her report that evening, she remained completely unaware that every word was being intercepted and analyzed by quantum AI systems far beyond her comprehension. Humanity had learned long ago to let others see exactly what they expected to see. It was safer that way, for everyone. The High Evaluator would return to the Federation Council with her report of a simple, developing species seeking membership and protection. And Earth would continue its silent preparations for the war that only they knew was coming. A war that would determine the fate of not just humanity, but every species in the galaxy. Hidden strength. The Kryvax pirates struck without warning. Their fleet of 30 warships emerged from hyperspace near the human mining colony of New Horizon, their weapons already charged. The pirates had observed the colony for weeks, noting its seemingly minimal defenses and outdated sensor arrays. It should have been an easy target. Captain Maya Rodriguez watched from the bridge of the HMS Vigilant as the pirate fleet approached. Her small patrol vessel was officially the only military ship within range of the colony. According to Federation intelligence, which the pirates had undoubtedly accessed, the Vigilant was a basic defense craft with limited combat capabilities. They're broadcasting their demands, Lieutenant Connor reported from his communication station. They want the colony's entire mineral stockpile and navigation data for all human trade routes. They're threatening orbital bombardment if we don't comply within 10 minutes. Maya allowed herself a small smile. How many civilian ships are they detecting in orbit? 7 mining vessels and 3 cargo haulers, Captain, all showing standard commercial power signatures. Perfect. Maya opened a channel to the pirate fleet. This is Captain Rodriguez of the Terran Defense Force. Your presence in human space is unauthorized. You have 5 minutes to withdraw. The pirate commander's laugh crackled over the comm. 1 patrol boat threatens our entire fleet. Your species' arrogance is amusing, human. Perhaps we should demonstrate our power. One of the pirate cruisers fired a warning shot that passed close to the Vigilant. The energy beam was impressive by Federation standards, enough to overwhelm most civilian shields. Maya pressed a single button on her command chair. Execute Protocol Shadow. Across the New Horizons system, things began to change. The civilian mining ships shimmered as advanced holographic camouflage deactivated, revealing heavily armed defense platforms. The cargo haulers' hulls split apart, deploying swarms of autonomous combat drones. And the Vigilant itself seemed to grow as layers of quantum-shifted armor plates phased into normal space. In the Federation observation post at the edge of the system, Junior Evaluator Nexel nearly dropped his datapad. Impossible, he whispered, his sensor stalks writhing in confusion. The humans had hidden military technology within civilian vessels, a tactic that had never occurred to the Federation's strategic planners. The pirate commander's confidence faltered as his tactical display filled with new threats. What trickery is this? These readings cannot be. Final warning. Maya interrupted. Withdraw or be destroyed. You have 30 seconds. The pirates responded by opening fire with everything they had. Energy beams and plasma torpedoes streaked toward the human forces. Maya didn't even need to give orders. Her crew had trained for exactly this scenario. The Vigilant's quantum-shifted armor absorbed the energy weapons without a scratch. The autonomous drones intercepted the plasma torpedoes with precise point defense fire. And the converted mining platforms revealed their true nature as they launched salvos of gravitational disruption weapons, technology that the Federation believed was still theoretical. The battle lasted less than 2 minutes. When it was over, the pirate fleet hung motionless in space, their ships trapped in localized pockets of distorted space-time. Only their life support systems remained functional. Maya opened a channel to all frequencies, knowing the Federation observers would be listening. "This is Captain Rodriguez to disabled vessels. Rescue ships are en route to take you into custody. Welcome to human space." In his observation post, Nexel frantically updated his report to the Federation Council. The humans had concealed advanced military technology within civilian vessels, a clear violation of Federation treaties. But more disturbing was the casual way they had defeated a fleet that could have threatened a Federation battle group. Deep beneath New Horizons' surface, in a quantum-shielded command center, Director Chen reviewed the after-action reports with satisfaction. The pirates performed exactly as expected, she told Admiral Martinez over a secure quantum channel. And our Federation observer got an excellent view of our civilian defense capabilities. "How much did we show them?" Martinez asked. "Just enough to make them nervous, but not enough to provoke direct action. They saw the quantum armor and gravity weapons, but nothing about the dimensional phasing or temporal manipulation systems. As far as they know, we're just unusually crafty with our defensive technology." Martinez nodded. "And the entity?" "Still coming. Our long-range sensors detect increasing disturbances in the galaxy's dark matter distribution. It's consuming everything in its path, but the Federation's detection systems aren't sophisticated enough to notice yet." "How long until they figure it out?" Chen studied the classified sensor data. "Too long. By the time their conventional instruments detect it, half the galaxy could be gone. We need them to start taking us seriously as allies, but not so seriously that they see us as a threat." "It's a delicate balance," Martinez agreed. "But humanity has had plenty of practice walking fine lines. Every war we ever fought taught us something about hiding our true strength until the perfect moment." In the Federation Council chambers, Ixra reviewed Nexel's urgent report with growing concern. The humans had concealed military technology within civilian ships, a strategy that violated dozens of Federation protocols. But what troubled her more was the implications. If they could hide this level of technology, what else might they be concealing? She added a note to her ongoing assessment. "Human military capabilities may exceed initial estimates. Recommend closer observation and possible technological restrictions before Federation membership approval." If only she knew that every word she wrote was being analyzed by quantum AI systems that had already mapped the Federation's entire defense network. Humanity would continue its careful dance of revealing just enough to be respected, but not enough to be feared. They had learned long ago that the best way to prepare for a war was to make sure your enemies never saw your true strength until it was too late. As the entity continued its inexorable advance through the galaxy, humanity watched and waited, knowing that soon they would have to reveal everything they had hidden. The only question was whether the Federation would be ready to accept the truth when that day came. The swarm arrives. The Federation Council was still debating humanity's unconventional defense tactics when the swarm arrived. They came without warning. A vast collective consciousness controlling millions of biomechanical ships that moved like a tide of darkness across the stars. The Krenith system, home to one of the Federation's oldest member species, fell within hours. High Evaluator Ixra stood before the emergency session of the Council, her crystalline form pulsing with distress. "The swarm has already consumed 3 systems. Our fleets are mobilizing, but their biological technology adapts to our weapons almost immediately. We estimate they will reach the Federation core worlds within 2 months." In Earth's Strategic Command Center, Director Chen and Admiral Martinez watched the Federation's desperate defense attempts through their quantum observation network. The swarm's ships moved with perfect coordination, overwhelming the Federation's rigid battle formations with constantly evolving tactics. "They're fighting exactly the way we expected them to," Martinez noted, studying the tactical displays. "The Federation's military doctrine hasn't changed in 10,000 years. They have no concept of adaptive warfare." Chen nodded grimly. "And now we have a choice to make. The swarm will reach our territory in 3 weeks. Do we maintain our facade of limited technology, or do we show them what humanity can really do? The entity is still coming, Martins reminded her. We need the Federation's trust and resources to prepare for that fight. Perhaps it's time to reveal another layer of our capabilities, but not everything. The decision was made for them 2 days later when the swarm launched a surprise attack on New Horizon. This time, it wasn't just 30 pirate ships. It was 30,000 biomechanical vessels that filled the space around the colony with their writhing forms. Captain Rodriguez stood on the bridge of the Vigilant once again, but this time she accessed systems that even the Federation's observers didn't know existed. All ships, execute Protocol Omega. Authorization Rodriguez 7 Delta 9. Across human space, hidden installations hummed to life. The quantum-shifted armor that had impressed the Federation now revealed its true nature as ships phased between dimensions, becoming impossible targets for the swarm's organic weapons. The gravity weapons that had disabled the pirates evolved into singularity projectors that tore apart entire sections of the swarm fleet. But the real surprise came from the mining drones. What had appeared to be simple autonomous defenders transformed into a vast neural network, linking human consciousness directly into the battle space. Maya felt her mind expand as she joined the network, her thoughts moving at the speed of light, as she coordinated thousands of ships with perfect precision. The swarm, for the first time in its existence, faced an enemy that could adapt faster than it could. Every time it evolved a new defense, the human neural network had already predicted and countered it. When it tried to coordinate its ships in new patterns, it found the humans had already mapped out every possible configuration. In his observation post, Nexel watched in stunned amazement as the human forces systematically dismantled the swarm assault. His reports to the Federation Council became increasingly frantic as he witnessed capabilities that should have been impossible for such a young species. The battle lasted 6 hours. When it was over, the space around New Horizon was filled with the drifting remains of swarm vessels. Not a single human ship had been lost. Maya opened a channel to the Federation observation post. Captain Rodriguez to Federation Command. We've contained the swarm incursion in our space. Be advised that we're deploying defensive units to assist with your ongoing operations. In the Federation Council chambers, Ixra's report caused an uproar. The humans hadn't just defeated a swarm attack. They had done it with technology centuries beyond what they had claimed to possess. Some council members called for immediate sanctions against Earth for violating technological disclosure protocols. But others saw the situation differently. They could have let us fall to the swarm, one elder member noted. Instead, they're offering to help. Perhaps it's time we reconsidered our assumptions about this young species. Deep beneath Geneva, Chen and Martinez monitored the Council's debate through their quantum network. They're starting to understand, Chen said, but they're still not ready for the whole truth. Will they be ready in time? Martins asked. The entity grows closer every day. Chen studied the classified sensor readings showing the approaching cosmic horror that made even the swarm seem insignificant. They'll have to be, because what's coming will require every weapon we've hidden, every strategy we've developed, and every secret we've kept. The real war hasn't even begun. In her private chambers, Ixra added a final note to her report. Human Military Capability Assessment. Category unknown. Previous estimates severely inadequate. Species demonstrates technological integration and tactical adaptation beyond established Federation metrics. Most concerning observation, all demonstrated capabilities appear to be defensive in nature. Extent of offensive capabilities remains unknown. As humanity's ships move to engage the swarm across Federation space, they maintain their careful balance of revelation and deception. They showed enough power to give hope to their allies, but kept their greatest weapons hidden, waiting for the day when they would be truly needed. The entity continued its approach, invisible to all but Earth's most advanced sensors, and humanity prepared for a war that would make their battle with the swarm look like a minor skirmish. They had spent centuries learning to hide their strength. Soon, they would show the galaxy why. Diplomatic revelations. The Federation Council chamber had never been so silent. On the massive holographic display dominating the center of the room, footage of the Battle of New Horizon played in slow motion. Representatives from 200 species watched as human ships phased through dimensions. Neural networks coordinated impossible maneuvers, and weapons that shouldn't exist tore through the swarm's biological vessels. Supreme Counselor Vex, a being of pure energy contained within an ancient crystalline matrix, spoke first. High Evaluator Ixra, your initial assessment classified humanity as a Category 3 developing civilization. How do you explain this discrepancy? Ixra's crystalline form flickered with embarrassment. Counselor, I can only conclude that we were shown exactly what humanity wanted us to see. Their deception was... She paused, searching for the right word. Masterful. The human delegation sat quietly at their assigned station. Ambassador Sarah Chen, who until recently had been known only as a civilian director, maintained a careful neutral expression. Beside her, Admiral Martinez appeared to be reviewing routine documents on his datavet, though in reality he was monitoring quantum communications from Earth's true defense network. This council demands an explanation. The Krellick's representative chittered, his insectoid mandibles clicking with agitation. How does a species barely a century into space travel possess technology that violates our understanding of physics? Chen stood, her movements deliberately measured. Representatives of the Federation, we understand your concerns. Earth has indeed maintained certain technological secrets. We did so not out of malice, but from hard-learned lessons of our own history. She gestured to the battle footage. What you're seeing isn't the result of superior intelligence or stolen technology. It's the product of necessity, of survival. She paused, letting her words sink in. Humanity spent millennia fighting itself. Every war taught us to hide our true capabilities until they were needed. Every conflict pushed us to innovate in ways your peaceful civilizations never had to consider. In the observation gallery, Dr. Nexel found himself fascinated by the implications. His latest report to Federation intelligence attempted to catalog humanity's demonstrated technologies. Dimensional phasing, neural interface systems, adaptive AI networks, gravitic manipulation beyond known physics. But what troubled him most was the growing suspicion that they still weren't seeing everything. The Arcturian representative, a being of crystalline gas, pulsed with incredulity. You expect us to believe that your species developed these technologies independently, without guidance from elder races? Martinez smiled slightly. Consider this. While your civilizations were growing through cooperation and shared advancement, humanity was forced to evolve through conflict. Every technology we developed had to be hidden, protected, and improved upon in secret. We learned to think differently because we had to. Chen activated her own holographic display, showing the swarm's devastation across Federation space. And now that approach has saved lives. The swarm adapted to your conventional tactics because they were predictable. They couldn't adapt to us because we've spent centuries learning to be unpredictable. The council chambers erupted in overlapping arguments. Some representatives demanded immediate sanctions against Earth for violating technological disclosure protocols. Others argued for closer alliance with this surprisingly advanced species. A few quietly suggested that humanity might pose a greater threat than the swarm. Deep beneath Geneva, in Earth's true command center, Director of Special Operations Kira Zhang watched the council debate through quantum feeds. Her attention was divided between the diplomatic crisis and the classified sensor readings showing the entity's continued approach. They're still not ready, she said quietly to her AI interface. They're so focused on our supposed violations of their protocols that they can't see the real threat coming. The AI, a quantum consciousness far beyond what the Federation believed possible, responded with a probability analysis. The entity will reach Federation space in approximately 47 days. Current models suggest 98.7% probability of total civilization collapse if full defensive capabilities are not deployed. Kira studied the latest deep space scans. The entity defied conventional description, a vast, cosmic horror that consumed not just matter and energy, but space-time itself. The swarm had been running from it, though they likely didn't even understand what they were fleeing. In the council chambers, the debate took an unexpected turn when the Krenith representative, whose homeworld had fallen to the swarm, spoke up. "My people were nearly extinct until human forces arrived. Their ships appeared from nowhere, evacuated millions of our citizens, and held off the swarm while we escaped. They did this without hesitation or demand for compensation. Perhaps instead of questioning their methods, we should be grateful for their intervention." Chen seized the moment. The Federation believes in peace through cooperation. Humanity believes in peace through preparation. Both approaches have value. But right now, neither is sufficient for what's coming. A murmur ran through the chamber. "What do you mean, what's coming?" Supreme Counselor Vex demanded. Chen exchanged a glance with Martinez. It was time to reveal another layer of truth. But not everything. Never everything. Our long-range detection systems, which operate on principles your scientists haven't yet discovered, have identified a threat approaching Federation space, something that makes the swarm seem insignificant. She activated a heavily filtered sensor feed, showing just enough of the entity to prove its existence without revealing how much Earth actually knew about it. The council chamber fell silent again, but this time the silence was tinged with fear. "This is why we maintained our secrets," Chen continued. "Why we developed technologies you thought impossible. We knew something like this was coming. We've been preparing for it since we first looked to the stars." In her private chambers that evening, Ixra composed what she knew would be her final report on human military capabilities. Her crystalline form trembled slightly as she wrote. "Humanity represents an entirely new category of civilization, one that evolved through conflict rather than cooperation. Their technological development followed paths we never considered because we never had to. Most disturbing conclusion: everything they have shown us, even their most impressive capabilities, may still be just another layer of calculated revelation. Ultimate extent of human military power remains unknown and potentially unknowable." She hesitated, then added a personal note. "Perhaps that is exactly how they want it to be." Deep beneath Geneva, Kira watched the entity's approach on classified quantum sensors that could peer through the fabric of space-time itself. Soon, the Federation would have to be told the full truth. Soon, humanity would have to reveal everything they had hidden for so long. But not yet. Not until they were ready. Not until they understood that sometimes the greatest strength lies in letting others underestimate you until the moment when everything depends on proving them wrong. Guardian species. The entity arrived ahead of schedule. The first Federation worlds didn't even have time to scream before they were consumed. Not just destroyed, but erased from the fabric of space-time itself. The horror that humanity had prepared for in secret was finally visible to all. And it was worse than even Earth's models had predicted. Supreme Counselor Vex called an emergency session of the Federation Council. The massive chamber, usually a model of order and procedure, had descended into chaos. Representatives from 200 species argued, pleaded, and prayed as sensor feeds showed the entity's inexorable advance. "Our combined fleets can't even slow it down," the Arcturian military commander reported, his gaseous form roiling with distress. "Our weapons pass through it, as if it exists in another dimension entirely. 17 systems have already gone dark." Ambassador Chen sat quietly, waiting. The moment humanity had prepared for through centuries of hidden advancement was finally here. She exchanged a glance with Admiral Martinez, who gave an almost imperceptible nod. It was time. "The Federation has a choice to make," Chen announced, her voice cutting through the panic. "You can continue to fight this enemy with conventional weapons and watch your civilization disappear, or you can trust us, completely and without reservation." The chamber fell silent. Supreme Counselor Vex's energy form pulsed with intense light. Trust you. After you've admitted to deceiving us about your capabilities. Everything we kept hidden, we hid for this moment. Chen activated a quantum link to Earth's true command center. Director Zhang, you have authorization. Show them. The council chamber's holographic displays suddenly exploded with new information as humanity's quantum observation network was revealed. The entity appeared in its true form, a vast cosmic horror that existed simultaneously in multiple dimensions, consuming not just matter but the fundamental forces that held reality together. We detected it 50 years ago, Chen explained. Long before our official first contact with the Federation, we knew our conventional weapons would be useless against something that could manipulate space-time itself, so we developed unconventional ones. Deep beneath Geneva, Director Zhang initiated humanity's final protocol. Across Earth-controlled space, massive structures that had been disguised as planetary rings, asteroid belts, and nebulae began to move. The defensive installations that had impressed the Federation were revealed as mere decoys compared to humanity's true military might. What you're seeing is Project Guardian, Martinez explained to the stunned council. A defense network that operates outside normal space-time. Every mining operation, every colony, every seemingly primitive human installation was part of it. We weren't just building defenses. We were constructing a weapon that could fight an enemy that existed in multiple dimensions simultaneously. The Federation representatives watched in awe as human ships began to transform. The dimensional phasing technology they had revealed against the swarm was nothing compared to their true capabilities. Vessels shifted between realities, their quantum neural networks linking not just human minds, but the very fabric of space-time itself. We needed the Federation, Chen continued, not just as allies, but as a shield. Every analysis showed that if we revealed our true technology too soon, the combined races would unite against us out of fear. So we hid, we waited, and we prepared. The defensive capabilities we showed you against the swarm were just another layer of calculated revelation. In the space around the Federation core worlds, humanity's true fleet emerged from quantum space. Ships that could manipulate fundamental forces, weapons that could rewrite the laws of physics in localized areas, and defense systems that existed partially outside of normal reality. The entity, for the first time in its eons-long existence, encountered something it couldn't simply consume. As reality itself became a weapon in humanity's hands, the cosmic horror found itself fighting an enemy that could match its manipulation of space-time. The battle that followed defied description in any known language. Human ships phased through dimensions, their quantum neural networks predicting and countering the entity's attempts to unmake reality. Where Federation weapons had passed harmlessly through it, humanity's phase cannons struck its true form across multiple dimensions simultaneously. In the council chamber, Dr. Nexel struggled to document what he was seeing. Their technology. It's not just advanced. It's fundamentally different from anything we've ever encountered. They don't just use physics, they rewrite it. Now you understand, Chen said quietly, why we hid, why we waited. Humanity spent its history learning to fight in ways that other species never imagined. We didn't just prepare for war. We prepared to fight an enemy that could break reality itself. The entity's advance slowed, then stopped, then began to reverse as humanity's true military might was finally unleashed. The cosmic horror that had consumed countless civilizations found itself being systematically dismantled by weapons that could reach into the spaces between dimensions. Hours later, as the entity retreated from Federation space, the council chamber remained silent. The representatives of 200 species struggled to process what they had witnessed. Humanity hadn't just staved them. They had demonstrated power that went beyond the Federation's understanding of what was possible. What happens now? Supreme Counselor Vex finally asked. Chen smiled slightly. Now we do what humanity has always done. We prepare for the next threat. But this time, we do it together. The Federation has knowledge and wisdom that we lack. And we have different ways of thinking about problems. In Earth's Quantum Command Center, Director John watched the entities retreat through sensors that could peer through time itself. They're still not ready for everything, she noted to her AI interface. Some technologies have to remain hidden, even now. The AI's response was tinged with what might have been amusement. Humanity's greatest weapon has always been its ability to make others underestimated. Even now, they think they've seen everything. John nodded, studying classified feeds that even most of Earth's leadership didn't know existed. The entity had been pushed back, but it wasn't destroyed. There would be other threats, other battles, other moments when humanity's hidden strength would be needed. And they would be ready. They had learned through countless wars among themselves that the best defense was the one your enemy never saw coming. The Federation might think they finally understood humanity's true power, but they had only seen what Earth wanted them to see. After all, the best weapons were the ones that remained hidden until they were truly needed, and humanity had gotten very, very good at hiding.